welcome back to 709 Meridian, an audio commentary podcast. We are your hosts, Dee and Andrew,
Hello.
and here we are in the second installment of our Beverly Hills Cop season. This is 1987's Beverly Hills Cop II, directed by auteur extraordinaire Tony Scott, fresh off of uh, Top Gun
Oh
from the
yeah.
previous year. So this is completely I guess you could say, 80s era prestige production, top to bottom. And of course, it stars the man himself, Eddie Murphy, as Axel Foley.
Co-starring some returning faces from the first film. We have a cameo from someone with a very slappable face. Um, uh, we've got Brigitte Nielsen. We've got Jurgen
Yes.
Prochnow, who we discussed last time, just because Jurgen Prochnow was sort of the. Well, we'll talk about it when we get to him.
Mhm.
But yes, lots to discuss. Sort of arguably, I would say the first. We'll have to look, but the first A-tier action sequel. By saying
Yeah.
that, I am arguing that Rambo is
Mhm.
not an A-tier movie. So,
Right. Because Rambo kind of creeped its way into it, and it was more of a Stallone movie than a Rambo movie,
mhm.
which is as opposed to this here, Beverly Hills Cop 2 being a Eddie Murphy action comedy than the previous movie where you could tell he's doing his thing and it's like people are just absorbing it. Here, Eddie's a little more aware, and
Yes.
we're gonna see that right at the top.
You ready?
Yes, sir. Count her off.
Let's do it. Starting in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh,
Oh
Paramount.
yeah.
And they're still around, still here, at least this week. Not next year, but this week. Uh,
I do remember this being really good, this opening sequence. I don't think they matched something like this. This is really good.
yeah, this is.
Iced.
And it's Harold
Faltermeyer just killing it.
Faltermeyer. Yeah, so he's going to run out of ideas later on, but at least at this point, they've got this whole scene. Watching this now, like in the past, everybody would make fun of Brigitte Nielsen, which we still can do when she starts talking. But when you're watching this, tell me this isn't a fucking Frank Miller comic book.
Oh yeah,
Like,
because
she's
look
a
at her.
fucking, yeah,
She's
she's
definitely something out of
Dark
what do you
Knight.
call it?
Yeah. Okay. So, 87, we'd had the first, like, sort of legacy quill with aliens, right?
Yeah,
But here,
yeah. Action movies were kind of ramping up a little more
yeah,
at this point.
we were going to have Lethal Weapon 1 this year, except, of course, Lethal Weapon 1 was not an action comedy in the way that the
No,
sequels would be.
exactly.
Um,
86 brought us Running Scared, which
yes.
was kind of in the middle. You know, I think it knew where the talent was in Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal, and they just sort of dropped them in action sequences.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
You got Billy Crystal to do quite a bit in Running Scared.
yeah.
But I mean, in the 80s, there was only, I would say, like, who never did an action movie, right? Like, we can talk about the people who aren't willing to run around now and stuff like that. But in the 80s, I mean, yeah, you didn't have, like, God, I don't know.
Yeah, like we said before, in the first one. Like you could have put Chevy Chase in a Beverly Hills
Uh,
Cop type movie.
that's
Bill
who we were
Murray.
talking about. Those guys who weren't going to run around. Yes, they
Yeah, they
all
weren't going to run around.
they were only going to run around in that one scene in Ghostbusters where they're suiting up and jogging
Yeah.
for a shot. So Jerry Bruckheimer's still alive now, or not? Don Simpson. So what I'd forgotten was that Days of
Tony
Thunder
Stark.
was a bomb,
Yeah,
so-called
it
bomb,
was.
and it
They just
changed the
pretended.
trajectory.
They pretended it was a hit because Tom Cruise was in it.
So now Beverly Hills Cop 2, the title font is our
Yeah,
stylized font, our
yeah.
branded font. Yes.
The bloody Roman 2, and here we have a again very polished Axel.
Did we notice that he's in apartment AF?
See, this is the suit's probably really his. The car's probably really his.
Yes, this is, we're having like I'm just trying to, so this period would fizzle really fucking fast because basically they tried doing this with Last Boy Scout and it was a
Oh yeah,
disaster. So, um, God,
what
Marlboro
killed
Man.
it though?
Oh God, Marlboro Man. Remember Marlboro Man?
Ugh.
Oh, there were such bad action movies in this point. So that's what makes this very nice, actually, when you think about it. Though we do have, of course, Detroit shot like LA,
Hmm.
which is
Right.
very what's the 9.5 weeks has New York shot like LA. This was a big deal. I mean, quote unquote big deal. This would be something people would have complained about.
Mm.
I was gonna read the Siskel and Ebert review, but I decided that life was too short. Um,
I don't think they liked it
no.
as much as the first one. Oh, here we got
Robert Pastorelli, who
Pastorelli, the late
might be
Robert Pastorelli.
uncredited. We'll have to check. But yes, Pastorelli, of course. This was probably right before Murphy Brown.
Yeah,
Um,
because that
re-
was his only thing, right? They
Pretty
kept
much.
trying to spin him off, or they kept trying, like he
He
kept.
did a lot of drugs. He did a lot of drugs. Um, that's why he died.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you think about it, he and Oliver Platt in the better
Mm,
universe, they needed to do a movie. They needed to do twins, Oliver
yeah.
Platt and
Yeah.
Pastorelli. Um, but yeah, so Pastorelli would be, I mean, no, basically, Pastorelli was a guy who had a lot of addiction issues, and that's why he never made it. But like when you see him in something like this is a great showcase
Yeah,
for
he's really
him.
good.
Like, I don't even think he ever got to play the captain in anything, did he?
He never got to be the captain. He never got to even really be the sidekick in one of these.
Well, he
You know,
did.
he should be the other guy in one
Yeah.
of these type of movies.
And I've always wanted to watch Cracker, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. Um, okay,
All right,
so
here we go. Paul Reiser. Now look right there for a quick second. You see Tiny Lister,
yep, I saw him in the
and he
credits, and I was
right. He's
like,
in the credits.
he's not in this fucking movie. He is. He was right there. Um, so the oil drilling in LA is like a standard thing if you lived in LA, or I don't know if it's still going on, but live in LA. But like in movies, it was sort of it's weird. It's like a weird vibe for it doesn't scream LA.
Well,
Um
it goes in. You could shoot those like they just showed. You know, and that sort of
yeah.
it sets a mood. And Dallas and Dynasty were very popular. and those shows were about oil.
Yeah.
So,
The but actually the LA city oil drilling is it's in I think it's in the Big Sleep, the Bogart Bacall one
mm,
from 46. So it's like it's
oh wow,
around. It's
it's
just not
around.
something they film a lot.
Yeah,
Um I do think you were saying that Siskel and Ebert were very confused how they were such great buds
right.
2 years later, because it is exactly 2 years later they discuss it in movie that
Hmm.
like they all went on a fishing trip. Somebody put together a fishing trip and they all
Which
became
means
best friends.
there must be a Beverly Hills Cop 1.5
Uh-huh.
that we don't know about. They stopped somebody in the fishing town or some shit.
It's like, and maybe the daughter's there and
Hmm.
Jenny's there, and there's like this really weird thing where Jenny makes a move for Axel, but Axel's like interested in the daughter, which we don't see anywhere, but he did just make a comment about
Yep.
liking the daughter, which we will not see in their scenes together because
He's more
I
of a
don't think.
big brother uncle type.
Yes. Did Eddie ever have a white girlfriend?
Not that I can, not through this era. I don't think,
I
or
mean, even
even at
now,
all. No, I
yeah,
don't think
it's
so.
just not his thing. Like,
No.
um, good God, he'd be amazing in fucking One Night Stand.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I mean, Wesley's fucking amazing in one. Everybody go see One Night Stand after this. But I don't even know where you possibly could. But Eddie would be fucking phenomenal in that too.
Something like that.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Actually, I just watched Jungle Fever the other day
it was
too.
so fucking long. I just want to do a Spike
Yeah, we
rewatch.
could do a Spike.
We could do a Spike. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it would certainly be a little bit different from doing the Crisis on Infinite Earths season. Okay,
Ooh.
so here we've
Yeah.
got
Billy and Taggart.
Billy and Taggart. This will be one of the few times we see Billy without his sunglasses. I just watched this the other night, folks. So uh, Judge Reinhold at some point is like, I'm not getting the screen time that I wanted.
And we definitely have the Tony Scott signatures here. The
Yeah.
blinds with the smoky room.
Smoky Room. We've also got an entirely new Beverly Hills Police Department. Now, in the first one, the building was very futuristically minded, but also like
Yeah.
didn't have a bunch of wasted office space. In this, everybody's got wasted office space.
Just
Also,
huge offices.
do you like how that light is doing work in the background? Like, I think it's lighting the wall a little. It is. It's lighting the diploma. I love you, Jeffrey Kimball and Tony Scott. Never change. Um, but we are seeing the Paramount late 80s Panavision framing for Pan and Scan, though. Like, take a look
Yeah.
at everybody. Like, we can keep at least half their faces in, or maybe
Oh,
not,
that
whatever.
shot right there.
Yeah.
John Ashton is losing.
Mhm. That's why everybody thought Judge Reinhold was going to be a movie star. It's because they kept him in the background, not John Ashton. This would, of course, be 1 year after John Ashton just did King Kong Lives.
Oh wow.
So
So
I'm
he was.
sure he was very fucking happy to do this.
Oh well. He accepted the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Award for this
I'm not sure
favorite
kids should be
movie.
watching this. I don't
Right.
know.
Favorite
Especially
movie. This one favorite movie at the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards.
Nickelodeon's demographics in the fucking 1988 must have been so white too. Just like, oh
Well,
man, that was Double
honestly,
Dare era, wasn't it? Like,
yeah. I watched a couple of those those shows back then. You know who the biggest winners were though?
Mm.
Eddie Murphy,
Hmm.
Pee Wee Herman,
Okay.
Bill Cosby won like best TV dad for
Oh, I
like
bet he did.
3 or 4 years straight on there. Okay, so it was like it was very yeah, it was a different time.
So it's the same
Definitely a different time.
exterior
Yeah, but it's
station.
clearly different on
Yeah.
the inside. Yeah,
Inside looks like a
looks more like a legal office.
yeah, a moody noir legal office or something. So here we've got Brigitte in her wig. Now, um,
A
is
lot of the
this her best perform?
around then, yeah, because well, I don't think she was horrible in Red Sonja. It's just
I have not
the
seen that
movie
since
stuff.
1988, and I vaguely remember thinking she was fine in it when I was 10, and I've like never wanted to find out.
Yeah, Brigitte never got a chance to. She's not bad here. You know, she's visual. She's very 80s visual.
Yeah.
Uh
I mean, now she's just a different Frank Miller.
oh, right. And a lot of promo material suggested that she was the main villain of the piece, which I think they should have
Interesting.
went with.
Yeah. Well, especially we'll talk about the third act. The third act is where this just sort of because I thought they resolved this. I thought Jeffrey resolved this. Um, oh right, we do have another familiar face come back.
Yeah,
So here's where Eddie makes the choice to call the cops from the crime warehouse. Um, Diet Coke product placement. I don't. So Bruckheimer Simpson would become infamous for product placement.
mm,
Um, the sort of joke of Michael Bay in the mid '90s was that he was like Tony Scott's
oh yeah, the clone. He's a,
spiritual successor, though not in this one. This is not because you can't cut if you cut Eddie without letting him build, it's not going to
mm,
work. So
mm.
like they're going to do '80s quick cuts in this or what some Tony Scott quick
Tony
cuts,
Scott quick cuts. Yeah,
but you're not going to fucking cut Eddie. Like
no, because this
this
is
shit. They're
prime
like
Eddie,
yeah. So this
like
is Bogomil's daughter
Bogomil's daughter.
who they should have revealed that Jenny Summers was his illegitimate daughter and that's why she moved to LA. But she's totally I mean, yeah, never to return, Jenny.
No, Jenny disappears and they replace her with Jan.
Jan, who is one
Never
of the
appears again.
yeah, one of the well, because Bogomil never appears again, right?
Never. Yeah,
Um, yeah, folks. Next week's Beverly Hills Cop 3.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
where the
that's gonna be something. Um, wasn't she on a payphone? Wait a second.
okay. Here comes one of the worst lines. Nephew, dude is
What
like,
is I know, what does that mean? He's my
what type of
nephew. Yeah.
what type of
Um,
what?
we also got to talk about sunglasses. So, oh, Pastorelli's wearing sunglasses because look at his eyes. Never mind. I know why Pastorelli's wearing sunglasses. Okay, but they're Double Team, 1998 or whatever, 96, starring Dennis Rodman, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Mickey
uh,
Rourke. Um,
yeah, that was a bad one.
that was a bad one, but Gene Siskel took it upon himself to interview Dennis Rodman. Oh,
Oh,
sorry, folks, we're gonna have lots of Playboy references in this.
yeah, right.
Like, there must have been a fucking The Girls of Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah, I don't doubt it because they get a credit at the end. Their playmates, they get a credit.
All right. So Paul Reiser had not done Mad About You yet. Where the fuck was Paul Reiser in 1987?
Well, it just came off of Aliens.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgot
So
about
he.
that.
Oh, and then My Two Dads.
Oh, forgot about that too. I forgot about Paul Reiser before he made it.
And he was kind of
Um,
a. He was a stand-up too. You
yeah,
know.
so and he was Aliens. He was on a Disney. Oh yeah, he was the sidekick in Cross My Heart. Crazy People? Do not remember that he was in Crazy People. But
He was like on the rise around then. I think I
yeah.
remember seeing him on one of those. Uh-oh, hold up. Hill fucking Hill. Yeah, they had to bring him back.
But even look at his
Oh, he's from
office.
arrest slips.
Look at his awesome office.
This is look of just anger and
Mhm.
like, God damn you. Now here's the question: does he have the same amount of screen time as the first one? I think it's a little more in this one
I think it actually is a little bit more.
because he does. They show him again later on.
Yeah.
They give him more to do.
And in the first one, he's just referred to off screen. Or do we hear him in the first one yelling through the phone, maybe?
No, that's this one
Mhm.
at the end. But yeah, with backing up to Paul Reiser,
Yeah.
he was part of that circle of comedians. Like I think I literally saw a special back in the day where it was him, Bob Saget, and like Jerry Seinfeld, and they all kind of came up around that era and broke out in sitcoms.
And Paul Reiser was a supporting player in Diner and
Einer,
would
yeah,
be the one who. So that, like,
his diner was supposed to be
well, he was on
American
the,
Graffiti for the '80s.
and he was even on the show. He was on the pilot for the show.
Mm.
Wait, did Mickey Rourke turn down Beverly Hills Cop 2? Not 2, but as well.
The original,
The
probably.
original?
Well, there was a whole line of people. I think it went past Richard Pryor at some point, right? They went through a lot of people.
It's the trivia on that.
It
Yeah.
was set up for, a Stallone Rourke type till Stallone left it.
1977 was when the idea came up. It got pitched in 81. Yep. First offered to Mickey Rourke. Martin Scorsese turned it down.
Yeesh.
Oh my God. Okay, folks, I'm just going to read this from the Wikipedia. Not for this movie. Okay. Holy shit, this is amazing.
Mm.
Sylvester Stallone was originally considered for the part of Foley. Stallone gave the script a dramatic rewrite, removing all the story's humor and turning the film back into a standard action movie. In one of the previous drafts written for Stallone, the character of Billy Rosewood was named Siddons and was killed halfway through the script during one of the action scenes. Stallone had renamed the lead character to Axel Cobretti.
Ah, which is
Stallone
hilarious.
has said that his
Cobra.
script, yeah, hold on, because that
Cobra's
was his
name becomes
thing.
Marion.
Yeah. Oh God, that's right. Oh, but that's the comedy beat is that if you call him Marion, he's gonna fuck you up. Um.
Now, a lot of these clips showed up in other shit.
Oh, I mean that was like a commercial. That's I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting what's the movie where they show the girl walking a tiger. I always thought it was this.
Oh my God, what is the movie with the girl walking a tiger? Hold on. Mm.
Okay, here we go. Axel's about to finagle himself a place to stay. Ew. Dude was picking at his ass.
Okay, the internet has failed, so we are going to need to. If any listeners remember, because yes, I remember that too. Wasn't she dressed like in a
Yeah, it was
shit?
like a.
Wait, was it just Beverly Hills Cop 1
I don't think so. Maybe it was, but
when he
I
gets to
don't recall.
Rodeo Drive?
Probably. I'd have to look
Okay.
at it again.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so Foreman here is familiar. Not sure what the fuck he was in, but
Well, he's played an irate dad in something.
yeah.
He pushes Emilio Estevez to win.
Hmm. So what happens in the third one as far as him getting his so this one's 2 years after the first one, or 3 years, right? But they talk about it
Mhm.
being 2 years after. The next one is 7 years. So the next one's like a semi legacy quill. I mean, legacy quill has sort of become a 10-year or a 20-year thing at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the 10-year sequel is. Extend a sequel or something. But that was sort of normalized in a little bit of a way because you had Aliens, which was 7 years after the first one. You had King Kong Lives, which was 10 years after the first one. And that really does not, it doesn't factor into the sort of sequel culture of the 80s, but It's sort of like how there was a third Three Musketeers movie that,
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
I still haven't seen it, right? We watched the first one like many years ago at this point, like 6 years ago. First one's still
Hmm.
good. The Disney one from 93 require like we could do an episode on that. Like, but
Yeah,
some of that would just be me feeling really, saying some things to my 15-year-old self. Okay. Axel is going to be basically like Sherlock Holmes in this one in
yeah.
terms of his CSI abilities.
And the fact that everybody else just misses shit. It's another one of those. He's ahead of the game more than everybody else.
So this is the new chief. We haven't really talked about him.
Oh yeah, this
Replacing
dude.
the fucking guy from the last one who was going to like fucking imprison Axel to cover up a gun runner because he was white. Whatever that implication was. Go back and listen to that one. But this guy has taken over. He's cleaned out the department. The only people who are left are Ronnie Cox, um, John Ashton,
Oh,
and Judge
John
Reinhold.
Ashton, Judge
They
Reinhold.
got rid of the B string cops from the first one, even though those guys would have been down for this. Like,
Right.
free lunches or whatever. Come on. Here we've got like this the new set design for the LA or for the Beverly Hills police station makes absolutely no sense. They have like this command room in the direct center of the hallway, um, but everybody can see in. Like, very weird. And then this is the actual location that they used in the first one, and presumably the third one, and definitely the
All
fourth one.
right.
I have no memory of the third one, thank goodness. So
Ooh.
it's going to be a bit of a reminder. I'm going to be watching
Oh
it
boy.
before we kick it off, folks. So, whew,
A couple weeks ago, I watched it before four.
damn.
Yeah.
We'll discuss the universe breakouts. We'll discuss, folks. Okay.
So here's Axel sort of encouraging the dudes to they have to do it on their own because clearly the chief just is an asshole, doesn't give a shit. He's got more important things to do, like drink coffee and bitch at his sidekick.
Yeah. Dude, John Ashton was not in this shot ever.
Oh, on TV?
Oh my God. Like, everybody's just watching this movie going, why is Judge Reinhold looking off into the side all the time? I was just thinking that the song from Ghostbusters 2 would work better in this.
Hmm.
Isn't that the one with the
With Bobby Brown.
Yeah. I mean without the Ghostbusters references.
Eh.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be funny off of John Ashton and Judge Reinhold. Here we have Valerie Wildman, who
Yes.
I don't know what
She.
she ended up in. She was on
Oh.
that show
Oh.
Bad Girls.
Also, Dangerous Women, which
That's the one, not Bad Girls, Dangerous Women. Yes,
yeah,
she was like
I
the lead on
followed that one.
Dangerous Women. That shit's
She's
not
pretty good in
available,
that.
is it? Yeah, she was. Like that shot on VHS shit.
I managed to cobble together a ton of episodes from YouTube that used to have them, but I don't know
They've
if it's still
since,
there.
yeah, I think it's gone.
There's a couple of them that you only get half the episode, but for the most part, it's the whole show.
So this part is Valerie Wildman could have made it off of this. Like, she jockeyed this into like a secretary recurring on LA. So,
Yeah, something regular.
that's the thing about the late 80s that we also need to remember that yes, you could have a whole career just playing Gary or George's girlfriends in the 90s, right, on Seinfeld, because they had a different one every episode. But in the 80s, you could be a recurring secretary on LA Law who might end up suing Arnie Becker. And that would be,
Well, eventually she recurred on 90210.
oh, yeah,
She was Dylan's father's
I
girlfriend.
think I remember that.
So she did show up a few times, but
Yeah,
she's really good though. She's very underrated.
yeah,
It's a shame she didn't get something. I could have seen her in like kind of a heart to heart type thing.
yeah. Opposite Greg Evigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're recording this around the time that seriously? Oh, never mind. We're recording this around the time that the Gary Coleman show or Gary Coleman TV movie or documentary just dropped.
Yes,
And
I saw that
the
one.
um Todd Bridges, whose mom passed like the day
Yes,
after
man.
release,
Yeah, Eddie Bridges,
uh,
recipe.
who great acting teacher, lots of people just talking about how wonderful she was.
Yeah.
But Todd Bridges was talking about how he was in his interviews about the Gary Coleman movie. He was talking about how there was very set TV, movie, never shall the twain meet stuff going on in that era of the early 80s. And I mean, that just intensified as the decade went on to some degree because the people who did make it, and we've talked about this many times, it made it off of like soap operas. Like Demi Moore was on soap operas, Alec Baldwin was on soap
Hmm.
operas. It was very weird. You just, and
Well,
it wasn't that
80s.
audiences wouldn't have accepted it. It was that you weren't going to upset your agent or your studio by doing
Yeah.
that, right? You weren't going to bite the hand of the patriarchy. So, I mean, really, that's basically the white male patriarchy. Anyway, so that's what we like still see with this is that we are going to see a very interesting mix of people who had not yet gone to TV and people who never
Hmm.
would. Right. Like Judge Reinhold never went to TV, or if he went to TV, he went too late. Judge Reinhold should
Yeah.
have fucking dropped a show next season on NBC or something after this. Like,
Or at least got a pilot.
yeah, he should not have. And I mean, but we've got, well, we'll see him in a second. Somebody who would go on to become a beloved TV figure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, indeedy.
Thanks for fucking up the screen, Axel. Hey, look, no bullet holes.
Well, this is in the past. They backed up a little bit.
See, look at Brigitte. They really should have went with her. Uh, look who it is.
Mr. Dean Stockwell.
Dean Stockwell. Sam, we gotta get you out of here. Ziggy says you have a 93% chance of making this work.
So on the Dean Stockwell note, like at this point, I mean, this is Dean Stockwell at his most 80s, right? Like this is the
Oh
same
yeah.
performance he gives in Dune for the most part. Like
Well, this is before he's great in Married to the Mob. Like
it's been so fucking
he's one
long
of the
since
reasons
I've seen
why.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the reasons why I watched that shit. Tony the Tiger Russo.
God, he's so good. I mean, that's where um some of Al comes from versus this, which is just him.
Oh yeah.
Like, so if you have never seen, so Dean Stockwell got his start in as a kid. Dean Stockwell is
Mm-hmm.
Nick Charles Jr. from the last or second to last. I think it's the last
Well,
Thin
Thin
Man
Man movie.
movie. Yeah. And so
He's a
he
boy with green hair.
boy with green hair. He'd been around forever. He was in David Lynch stuff. He was in Dune. He was in what's that one called?
Hmm.
The Dunwich Horror. So he did a bunch of horror
Oh,
shit. Like I don't know if he was with Corman. He probably did biker movies. Like the kids who grew up in Hollywood through the 40s and 50s, like Dennis Hopper, Nick Adams, Seth
mhm.
Natalie Wood, all of these people had incredibly fucked up lives. So
Yeah.
Russ Tamblyn, oh, I think Russ
Oh
Tamblin's
god.
been David
He
Lynch.
got over it.
Yeah. So, um, yeah. But so at this point, Dean Stockwell was this guy, right? Like he's
Yeah.
very much typecast in this. He would
The little
soon
weasel.
become Al on Quantum Leap. He, of course, was
Mm-hmm.
on Battlestar Galactica, doing sort of a combination of the two. And he sort of would like grow into a much more thoughtful actor in his later years, which is
Well, I
very
always
funny.
wondered they never get him and Bakula. They never got any Emmys for Quantum Leap, did they?
I don't even think they got any nominations. That was because
Damn.
sci-fi. Quantum
Yeah,
Leap.
sci-fi.
Quantum Leap basically did what um Young Indiana Jones Chronicles wanted to do without flexing about it, and it never gets and it, there is the cohort that acknowledges it, but that cohort dwindles every day. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was a very specific era, and like it's also the Wonder Years era. Like we were in a
Oh
very
yeah,
odd nostalgic period.
nostalgia.
We also weren't
Wonder Years,
erasing.
China Beach.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was an era where people were like, maybe we should try to be a little bit more responsible about this. Were they as responsible with it as they should have been? No, but they were better than they had been, type thing. And now we've gotten to the point where we are pretending that Thomas Jefferson wasn't a slave owner. So we're going downhill, folks. Okay. We don't see where he gets this car either. So
No,
presumably that's
not at
just a,
all.
but
But again, it's not a rattle trap like the Nova.
right.
So
What would
he's not riding on bullshit in this movie.
well he could have been though. We could have a cut scene where he gets it from Bronson Pinchot's car lot.
Right. Or he just
Oh my
lends it to
god.
him.
Oh my god. You know how they're doing like novelizations of like old movies that never had novelizations, but they're doing them now. It's a fucking thing. Um, I'm just saying the retcon Beverly Hills Cop, The Adventures of Axel Foley series.
Oh wow. Yeah, that could be a
You
whole series,
know
a
what,
book.
folks? Ah, where's my idea notepad? Let's see what Chat GPT can come up with. This is what I actually am supposed to have a notepad around for ideas during the pod, and I don't have it. And it's like, because that's what I need. I need more fucking things to do. That's what we all need, more things to do. Okay, so here we're getting some more of the Axel the detective.
Yeah, he's
Um,
comparing the dirt, which is kind of, I gotta give it to him. That it's a good move that they actually show him do some
yeah,
detective work. You know?
and it's nice because Eddie Murphy can act it. Like
Yeah.
that's like the thing that again, like when Eddie's on, Eddie's so on, and it just rarely. Okay, so here we got the sunglasses, everybody. From this point on, count to see when Judge Reinhold's not wearing sunglasses. So they're now back at his mansion. He
Hmm.
was just at Bogomil's, and we get like no um
See, you know what? Damn, it just came to me. Why the fuck did he just stay at Bogomils? I mean, if he really needed a place to stay.
because Bogomil doesn't have an in-ground pool. We also don't spend enough time in the mansion. I will complain about that a little bit. Like, I want to see
Yeah,
more of
for
this
him to go
mansion.
through
Yeah.
so much trouble to get it, and this is the one major scene.
And he's literally there doing work. Like, yeah, he's having a little cocktail, but he's reading a
Yeah,
police file.
he's reading a
Like,
thing. He could have stayed with Billy, who would have loved that. I mean, yeah. So that just means the whole finagling a house was just a.
so Beverly Hills Cop 2 is 103 minutes. I think is that shorter than the first one by a couple minutes? But I always thought it was like longer, and I think some of it's because they just had to include bits. Like,
Yeah, stuff like this.
because the rest of it is a straight investigation, right? Like,
Hmm. Chance.
I mean, Gerald, or no, I was going to say Gerald Ford. John Ashton was what, 38 in this, we discovered? So
Oh wow.
we spent the whole last movie looking at the people we're older than or younger than. That's one we haven't done it yet. But,
I just my head
oh,
can't
here we
reconcile
go.
that. Oh, stripper bar or club with a stripper in it because it's yeah. This is
It's another 80s strip club restaurant where the ladies are having just as good of a time at the
right.
club as the boys.
It's
Um,
very co-ed in there.
mhm. Okay, so John Ashton is 39 years old. Jurgen Prochnow is 45. I feel so good about my skin. Uh, Bogomil is 48. Brigitte is 23. Oh my God, we are
Wow.
the same age as the police chief. If you want to
Ooh.
do, I feel pretty good. Dean Kane is 51. Feel really good about some things. Um, Holy
Ooh.
shit, Russ Fielding is only a couple years older than us. Okay. Um You stop looking at the credits. Okay, so that is Paul Gulfile, Fool, whatever his name is. He would go on to be um, on it's a fucking show CSI. He's on the original, the
Hmm.
flagship. He was
Oh,
also in Night Falls on Manhattan. I believe he's very good in that. No comment on CSI. But here we're getting some conversation that Taggart is having some home problems. Maureen has left him, presumably with the kids or without the, like, did she take the kids? I think they mentioned it, but
yeah.
we never see this. This is entirely happening off screen to kill time conversation wise.
Yep. It's very much, yeah, it's real filler stuff.
And so it's very weird because they aren't played for comedy. And so we're basically just getting, the days of our lives recap for them in between their adventures. But that's very different than now when you'll have people show up for their supporting role in a sequel and do as little as possible before they bounce. Um, Gwyneth Paltrow, for example. Just saying, all I wanted was rescue, and I'd even take Gwyneth Paltrow as rescue, and
Mm.
we're not doing that. Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway,
I wish it was somebody else.
I mean, yeah, at this point, yeah, give me Earth 2 rescue. I loved the two of them together. I mean, no bones. Like I thought
Yeah,
they were,
he does make her look better.
yeah. Like
They make a good thin man couple,
they
actually, now that I
would,
think about
yeah. It's yeah.
it. So this is
So
the amped up action here.
look at the three stuntmen running after them. And then it's immediately over. So yeah, not quite the opening sequence there. Well, because it's sad because it's like that's a scene that Lethal Weapon would do just fine, right? Like,
Yep.
and that's kind of Tony Scott's thing is he can do the in between, but if he's not everything else, he shoots like a montage, like he cuts the action like a montage. So okay.
A check with immigration.
Oh yeah, we
You never
missed the
heard of a
Johnny
Johnny Wishbone.
Wishbone thing. Shit. Yes. So
But finally, he kindly kind of he he tops his previous bullshit with more bullshit.
mhm.
Axel's just always ahead of it.
And we
Now,
never see these two on traffic duty, despite it getting mentioned every 3 seconds.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. It's weird that nobody was like, so the mayor guy is not funny enough. You need to cast that better. Like, Jerry and Don were doing coke in the ears at that point. So here we get the Rambo thing. So now here's where we're going to get that Billy's eccentric.
Yeah.
And with your observation that he got kicked off on this tangent, the gun kick from the end of the first movie actually very much works.
Yeah. Because once he got a taste of the action, you know.
Mm-hmm. We're going to do some more CSI shit here.
Nobody, you don't see people with stuff like this no more, though. We used to have a turtle in one of the rooms in my elementary school. It was like kindergarten. You don't see people with turtles and stuff.
See people with turtles. I mean, not in
Really?
movies. Yeah, people have turtles. Not as much as you'd think.
Hmm.
Like, I think they'd be more popular, but I think the reality is that cats and dogs were like a fucking were like a the Coke and Pepsi thing even back then. And this whole like exotic animals thing was like a fucking pseudo fad. But you just didn't want to deal with pets in movies. And like this is cool, but think about how many people got fucking turtles because of this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Guns.
Hmm.
Cobra poster.
Paul Reiser just so we're gonna see the ladies that they know in common in a bit, I believe. Right? Don't we see her? Yes. We see her in the next scene. So we also miss that Axel somehow knows a girl named Marcy who's not interested in Jeffrey, who's interested in her, but Axel's going to take her out driving in the car, implying that he's interested in her somewhat. Wait until we meet Marcy. So
I
we see her,
wonder how many people actually tried this shit.
right? I mean,
Fingerprint.
super glue could do anything in the 80s. Let's not forget.
Yeah. I just saw the YouTube video of the amazing combinations and things you could do with super glue mixed with baking soda.
Really? Does it make
Yeah.
Play Doh?
Well, it makes plastic,
Ooh.
kind of.
Mm. So they've discovered Dean Stockwell is behind the attempt on Axel's life. We also he also wants to buy ammunition from the gun club or something. He's undercover there too as something,
Hmm.
but it, it's not important what. Did they ever talk about a Fletch Axel Foley crossover?
I doubt it.
I mean, obviously Eddie was not going to make a movie with Chevy Chase, but
Right. It would make sense, but I don't think.
maybe in the novelization series, folks, we'll
Although,
see.
if only Fletch were probably played by Steve Martin, maybe
Mm,
I could see that. But Chevy, Chevy himself probably wouldn't. You know,
no.
are you kidding? He's not gonna share the screen. be out funny.
Was it Deal of the Century? Wait, no, Best Defense, Deal of the Century.
Yeah, Deal of Century was
Okay. That was,
Chevy and Gregory Hines.
yeah. And it was, we should do an early 80s season, but I don't know that I want to do an early 80s season, but it would be interesting to do one.
Hmm. Yeah, just
Because
some of those randoms.
yeah, because I've never seen either of those.
Oh, Best Defense is yeah.
Dude, Dudley Moore was in so many fucking movies in the early 80s. Like,
They
so
were
many.
they were all exactly the fucking same, with the exception of probably the little dramatic one he did.
Did the Dying Kid one.
Yeah, the Dying Kid one.
Um, and it was Santa Claus that killed that? Like, that's what knocked him off?
Kinda, because oh, later on he did shit, what's the name of it? Like Father Like Son was supposed to be
That's right. That's right.
his
That was supposed to be the
comeback,
comeback.
but it came out in a body swap
Yep.
era and it flopped because his co-star was Kirk Cameron.
Yeah. I mean, that was Arthur 2 era. So, okay, so
Yeah,
that would
Arthur
be
too.
something else. Okay, so check in the car. That's Marcy and her friend. I don't know. They're blonde bimbos. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're just like, that was who Axel was hanging out with. And so this is sort of a very complicated, patronizing, sexist characterization of women in the 80s, folks. Uh, Probably starting in 85-ish and going on till, I don't know, 96 or something. But,
Mm.
anyway. Um, but this would be your standard off-screen girlfriend, basically. Or no SAG card girlfriend. Anyway, um, okay, Jeffrey. And so
Yeah, he's
now,
setting up the scam here so he could intercept the call. Him and his lapdog.
well, and especially because the lapdog's supposed to be working on the alphabet crime case right now, and all he does is he's like the lead
Yeah, it's just
detective on
all up
that
under him.
case. Yeah.
Shit.
So wait, we get Gil Hill back for this, and we're gonna get him yelling over the phone. Like, it's a lot of Gil Hill.
Yeah, he gets a little bit later on to wrap up the Detroit
Is he
story.
in three?
Yeah, very briefly,
I'm
but yeah.
sure, but yeah.
See, a jerk like dude would have called right back, like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm. We've got it all okayed, and we're back in the computer room.
yeah." Some of these shots look like Top Gun.
Yeah, your operations room with color. Yeah.
Yeah, Okay, now one of these is the heist that Kane actually goes on, right?
Mm, yeah, but which heist is this? This is only halfway heist?
I think this might be the one they stop, right?
Yes. I think they stopped this one. Like, Kane honestly is set up in this like he's the fucking villain from Miami Vice, the movie, and then nothing happens with him because Jamie Foxx didn't want to go to South America. Like,
That's one I haven't seen. I think I tried to watch it and then just sort of walked away from it.
I like things about it. Colin Farrell's really good.
See, yeah, that, yeah,
Like the broody slime bag romance angle, like of trapped people. I mean, like it's a Michael Mann thing, but yeah, it's fine. But yeah, Jamie Foxx ends up with nothing to do, and it's because like they don't finish his fucking story because
yeah, that, yeah. And I probably would have liked it better if they had Terrence Howard play that part.
they definitely would have been able to get somebody to do a sequel if Terrence Howard didn't. No.
Right.
Well, that was like the weird thing about it was it was like I don't know if you were going to try to do this concept of doing a Heat version of Miami Vice with as a film series, like as an indeterminate, like James Bond like movie series where you just had you potentially could always have sequels. They should have done two of them back to back to prove the concept. Like,
Actually could work, yeah.
yeah, like instead of like setting it up and being like, no, come back next time we spend $125 million on this. Like, no, prove it the first time out.
Remember when it was gonna be Mark Wahlberg and Chris Rock?
God, that was before Michael Mann was going to do it, though, right?
Yeah. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, they took that. I remember they said they took that script and reworked it as Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh God. I don't know. Too Fast, Too Furious. I feel like John Singleton knew what he was doing, making.
No,
Like,
Singleton does a great
yeah,
like BS like Saturday night action movie.
yeah.
Like
He
between that
knew.
and Four Brothers, yeah.
I am glad
Shap.
that Chris Rock didn't. No, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Okay. I feel like it's very good that. Oh, that was a stunt, man. That was fucking Carl Weathers. Like, what the? Um,
Oh, we got another Pointer
yeah,
Sisters. This one
no.
didn't quite hit like Neutron Dance, but
So I was gonna say I'm glad that Marky Mark and Chris Rock never did a movie together because I would not want to have to listen to Chris Rock defend Marky Mark in 2024.
right.
I'm just so glad that I don't have to hear about that. So
Okay, here we go. More vehicular destruction.
yeah,
And this can't be. I guess this is the big sequence.
right. And it feels like it's out of Caddyshack too. Like
Right.
this is where the problem is it turns out that they've got no action beats for this.
Right,
Like
because he's just chasing something rather
and
than
that's what when we get to it, Axel F does so well is it very much just goes, hey, you know what action beats work? These. Let's just do those again.
Mm-hmm. Because
But
this
this
right
is,
here is so purposeful. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, this
blatant.
is, well, and it's actually very kind of mm, cost effective because it's an empty street. Um, it was a handful of cars, whereas Neutron Dance was tearing up a city. This
Mm-hmm.
is like this is a sequence out of a Magnum PI, basically. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
more
this is
expensive
Magnum
Magnum
PI.
sequence
Yeah, yeah,
or something off of Chips.
yeah. Like,
Remember when all those shows did that shit?
will I ever tell you? So, um, was it Rockford Files? So Rockford Files and I assume Magnum and Chips, obviously, they all had one car chase an episode at least, right?
Well,
I
Chips
think
was
it,
designed to have maybe
yeah,
more than one.
I think it was the Rockford. It was either the extended pilot or it was some two-parter that had been cut together or something. And whichever it was, I was watching the like artificially extended version. And basically, what they do is they have him drive around a parking garage like three times to pad out to 90 minutes instead of 74. And I was just like, what is happening in my life? It won't stop. It won't stop. Hey, you know what? That guy should stop talking about Eddie Murphy's wife.
Right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yep.
I
Here is
mean,
Jerry Curl. Oh, wait. There's my favorite, Rebecca Ferrati, sitting in a chair
so
when they walk in.
clearly
Not the
this was
receptionist.
right, but the one that they walked
Yeah,
past.
the one
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So this is very much, there was definitely a tie-in issue. Um, it was it was the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards favorite Playboy tie-in went to Beverly Hills Cop 2. Uh,
Oh, and you know who accepted the award? It
Dan
was
Schneider.
no, no. Well, shit. No, he hosted the show that year, I think,
That's
along with
weird.
Brian Robbins.
That's
I think that's the year. Yeah.
oh my god, that's right. Head of the Class was Paramount. Ugh. Anyway, who are
Woo.
you gonna say?
Um, Ashton, John Ashton accepted the award. Hey, there was Ola Ray from Thriller. Uh, and he's the one who says, "Hey, you guys want a Cop 3?" So I gotta find that clip. I know they
This
have to
is
have that somewhere.
you cut this a little bit less. Um,
I want to slap that guy that's dancing.
yeah,
Who the fuck is that dude?
you cut this a little bit better, and it's just or a little bit. Trying to think, a little bit less.
Hmm.
Bootacular, and it's basically just PG-13. Like this is very tame for what it could have been.
Yeah, for it's what is being Playboy.
Yeah,
Like any other movie would have exploited it and had some
because
of them
Dragnet
playing
did,
topless
right?
volleyball.
Yeah, Dragnet did. Okay, so there's Paul Goyfile in the background again with no lines. Um, so here we've got 30 minutes left.
Ew, the original creep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's lucky he died first.
Oh
He
God,
would have gone
especially
down for something.
when they extended the fucking like prosecution laws. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like uh so Jurgen Prochnow. 45 years old.
Now he was the guy who played a lot of the,
This was him. Yeah.
yeah, the Euro trash villain.
Mm. And that is, I mean, I think that's why Paul Goldfile's not talking very much, is because he's not Eurotrash. Whereas, who is that?
That's what I mean. Like, what? I wonder if he was part of Eddie's entourage or something.
So, Eddie has picked his pocket, and now we're gonna.
Go to his lawyer, I think, right?
Oh,
This is
yes, it's Gilbert.
Gilbert Godfrey.
So,
That was my favorite line in a movie.
yes. Oh, God, here we go. So now Robert Ridgely playing. Oh, is that a microphone? No. Okay. Robert Ridgely's maybe should have thought about his legacy when agreeing to do Boogie Nights, just
hmm
because he has one performance that he gives,
Right, he's just this guy.
and he's
Just
this guy. But then I'm just
he.
like, oh, so the mayor of LA is a kitty diddler, is what I'm seeing here. Okay. Okay.
He was also our generation's. He did voiceovers. He was Filmation's Tarzan.
Wow. Uh, this whole thing where he's not interceding on the chief being abusive, even for 1987, is a bit
Yeah, he
much.
really is just kind of. But he does stick up a little bit.
Yeah, he does. It does come through, but this is very much a um, how was Steve Cahan busy type thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You know who they should have gotten to do Beverly Hills Cop 3 if they couldn't get anybody?
Hmm.
They should have just
Hmm.
gotten Donner.
Yeah. At least the
Like,
action sequences would be
yeah.
a little
Because
more.
what did he do after Radio Flyer was a bomb? Oh no, never mind. He was about to do Maverick. Never mind.
Maverick.
Yeah, never mind. He wouldn't have done it. I would argue that Maverick is his best action comedy. Comedy
I would.
action.
I would rather though he would have done it though.
I mean, as things turned out, yes. I think I would have rather he did this. You know what?
Nah. This right here is very much of the time. It's the direction they wanted to go. Like I don't think it could have been any better or any worse. This is we gonna make some money with this movie. That's what this is.
And that kind of is a very nice proof of concept for the imagination that you had with doing sequels. So like
Mhm.
we've talked about how like Predator, they just can't fucking crack it, right? But like this proved you could take something and do a significantly different sequel and have greater success.
Here we go. That's my wife's car. No, no, no. Bitch.
So Gilbert Gottfried, of course, would be in a way. Well, the other thing is, you've got to understand this is a voice anybody can do. Okay?
And
Like
right.
anybody can do this.
And he leaned
So,
into this because initially Gilbert Gottfried was not this guy.
right.
He took this and worked with it. Like if you look at his, because he was on SNL, I
Yeah, this,
think
like,
actually Eddie's first season, and he was part of that cast that got fired.
so yeah,
But you could
he
tell, yeah,
turned this into a bit in a way that, like, and he was willing to do anything, like he did USA Up All Night. But
yeah,
um of course, he would in, I don't know, 2012, sort of become beloved for eternity with Gilbert Gottfried reads 50 Shades of Grey, which was a meme that had started as somebody making a joke about it, and then he did it. And like, he really, I mean, Gilbert Gottfried was of the same era as Andrew Dice Clay, who
Right. Dice,
has
Sam Kinison, those
continued
guys.
to like, this also makes no sense why they are putting on their glasses so they can't see him committing a crime or something. Okay, so we're just doing computer stuff and figuring out, because all computers are connected in the 80s, folks.
Yep. Could
All
do
the
anything anywhere.
computers, anything, anywhere.
War games.
Um,
So here's what we need Jan for.
yep, because Jenny Summers can't be working in
Right.
real estate now. Because we couldn't. Well, did nobody think about pairing Judge Reinhold off with Jenny? Like,
Yeah, that would have made sense too. They just start going out after the
yeah,
first one.
but Judge Reinhold's single throughout the franchise, right?
Yeah, the whole
Yeah,
thing, all up, even in the
yeah.
last one. Uh-oh. All right.
Oh, it's the racetrack robbery. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get to see some horses?
Oh, look at that shot. Somewhere, a young Michael Bay realizes he has a left hand too.
uh,
Oh, now here's this is the heist
yeah.
they force Stockwell to go on. See, for years, I always thought Dean Stockwell was related to John Stockwell, but
But they're not. Yeah.
they're not. Yeah.
No. Though Chris Penn was Sean Penn's brother. You might not be able to guess that from how they both ended up looking. Though you should have, in the 80s, you could tell a
Well,
lot
yeah,
more later.
yeah,
It
because
was before Tom Sizemore and Michael Madsen all came up, and like, then they all just looked the same. Those three guys all just looked the same.
and with the pins, they did the whole John Belushi, Jim Belushi thing with them,
Yeah.
where they had fast times where Sean Penn was just playing a character
Right.
for laughs, and then he just did nothing but serious shit after that. No hard comedies. So you had Chris Penn, who was more than willing to. They put him in what the follow up,
Yep. Still
the
haven't seen that.
wildlife. Yeah,
Well,
it's super mid.
Fast Times, I imagine, ages like a fucking.
Okay, Fast Times you watch when you want to kill like a straight 90 minutes. The pace is very good. Like it runs from beginning to end, and you know you got
Yeah.
you got yourself a good entertainment for 90 minutes.
So, does Last Boy Scout have a horse race heist scene too, or
No,
okay, it's just all
um,
vibes. Tony Scott
because
vibes.
the whole ending takes place at what,
The
the football
game,
game.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I thought maybe people went to
that's
the
another one I
track a
haven't seen in a
lot.
long time.
in the late 80s, people went to the track. Let It Ride.
Oh yeah. What's the one with the stupid Bobcat Goldthwait? Wait.
Hot to Trot.
Oh god. Oh no.
Slow motion.
Oh Jesus. Hot to trot. I think they had a horse riding sequence in John Candy's movie too. The Who's Harry Crumb, right?
That might be what I'm thinking of. I haven't seen
Was
that
he
since 1997 or something at the latest. So,
he did do the voice though of the horse and
Hot to Trot. That's right.
trot, yeah. But they said that he replaced somebody who initially recorded, but no, he's not saying he solved it with dude. Uh,
And the security guard. But wait, that can't be it. Not when we've got 16 minutes left. But wait, maybe Axel will think of something.
yeah, because he's always ahead of him.
So, like, what did Taggart and Rosewood do when Axel's not around? Or there's just no crime whatsoever, so it doesn't
Right.
matter.
It's assumed that like Beverly Hills is crimeless almost, with the exception of shit like this. The alphabet bandit.
Wait a second. What I especially like is that the red, mud or whatever, like he saw it
Mhm.
completely dried on Bogomil's shoes and wet under Billy's, but Axel knows how
Yeah,
the
the,
viscosity of mud works.
of red mud.
Yeah, he's a fucking expert in it. He wasn't always a cop. He was a horticulturist.
Right. He knows what grows and what. Uh,
Okay. Exposition, exposition, exposition.
I see trucks.
At least it's them getting out of the car. I was worried it was
Yeah.
going to be the stunt people.
No, that would have only been from behind.
So now Billy is going to,
Oh, yeah, he's Rutger Hauer and
yeah.
wanted dead or alive. Taggart with the shotgun, pump action
Mm,
again. Again, how come Billy doesn't have like a Uzi or something?
late 80s. Did only bad guys have Uzis still?
Probably.
Yeah.
Rambo was the only one who. Rambo and Arnold. Trailer moment.
Mhm. This one has a lot of trailer moments. Like,
Yeah, it's made up of.
but I mean, that is sort of what Bruckheimer would do. Like, a little bit, not desperate like other folks would, but well, I'm sure after a certain point he was. But that was one of Bruckheimer's things was the trailer moment. And I suppose Simpson, but whatever.
Okay, now here we
Yeah,
go with
the tape. See, the thing about Tagger in this one is he is just played like more of a regular guy, except for the Gerald Ford shit and the outfit.
mhm.
And I don't know if it works as like they
Well,
it's
it's because
it's a
they,
weird personality to give him. And this is the most he ever has in one of the movies.
yeah,
Because he's not in three and he's supporting in four. And in the first one,
he's very antagonistic with
yeah,
Axel in the first one, so he's kind of the counter to Rosewood.
yeah, Chevy Chase is not gonna do all that.
Nah, his stuntman might, but
Yeah. Except the problem is it's the same guy who the Carl Weathers looking guy from.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I mean, this is even the long shots are stuntmen, which is you would never bother. Well, you would never do this without on location anymore. And since you would never do it on location, you basically never do this anymore because you're not on location, so you're not thinking about it. It's what we're really suffering from is production design and CG. Um, so we just solved that part of the problem.
right. Yeah, there's a lot of henchmen up in there.
Mhm.
Jeez.
I believe this has the body count of a real action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we just no, they don't. I think they all give up. I
Yeah,
think they give up.
eventually,
Yeah,
because
we're gonna lose a
the squad
few.
shows up.
Yeah. No Al Leong, anyone. Don't
No, no, Professor Toru Tanaka. No, who's another one? They have a they have a bunch of them.
we got some birds flying because it's proto John Woo. So they're all
Wait,
giving up.
did dude have any lines?
No,
Oh wow.
his accent must have been amazing for 1987 for them to be like, we got to cut all those fucking lines. We got because I think he's playing a Greek guy. So
Oh shit.
okay, so here we get what I if it isn't a reshot ending.
Yeah, because this feels kind of rushed.
So yeah, we've
Seems so
got
botched.
talking to Jurgen. We've got Brigitte with the submachine gun,
Like
and then
nowadays, it would work if she was the head.
Yeah. But we're in a fucking warehouse where we can't see anything that's going on. We're
It's very stylish too.
Yeah,
It looks
it's like distractingly stylish. And then here's our resolution to Jurgen Proc now.
yep,
So that's
easily
over.
dispatched,
And it's just like,
easily
well,
disposed.
that's nothing. Okay. Oh, wait, I think it blows up. Yeah. In
Yep.
a terrible jump cut, it blows up. Spider-Man 1977, folks. Here we get
Uh-oh.
so she has zero reaction to old boy going down, huh?
Right. She doesn't upset. She doesn't give a
And
speech.
it's Taggart with his fucking service revolver, not his
Right,
machine
not the
gun,
shotgun.
not the shotgun that it comes with the figure. Like,
Oh shit. Billy's got the shades on.
mhm.
What took you guys so long?
Do not know what he thought he was going to do after this.
Oh god. And you. Okay, this is gonna be it.
Oh my god, why are there set 8 minutes left?
Uh. A nod to the end of the first movie.
Yeah. But what's wrong with it is it's not an ending for Eddie. It's for fucking
Yeah.
everybody else gets something to do while he just gets to sit there, stand there and
Well, he basically
giggle.
solved it all for him, though.
Yeah. I mean,
He gets no real win, but the thing of it is,
gee, Mayor, if you'd done that two
yeah,
obvious things ago, none of this would have happened and the crimes would have been solved. Okay.
Sidney Bernstein.
Like, Ronnie Cox is now the chief. He's back after we don't ever see any of his recovery because he was
No.
busy filming Robocop or something. Like, but this is the other
Thrown
thing
out a window.
is you would have people who would do that, right? They would only come back for the beginning and the end of the sequel because they were making
Mhm.
something else. Okay.
Anthony Edwards.
So, oh yeah,
Although
that's right.
he thought
Yeah,
he was above that. He didn't
well,
really want to do it anyway.
he thought he was going to be. Did anybody have that career? Nobody actually had the career that Anthony Edwards was chasing in the 80s. Like there wasn't
No,
a blonde, like Val Kilmer wasn't a hit, right? Like
not
he
really. Yeah,
wasn't the
Val Kilmer didn't
blonde.
hit. He didn't hit till the '90s. Really, he just did a lot of stuff.
But it's
It,
like
it,
nobody
it
was the blonde Tom Cruise, basically.
no.
And now we get this nothing ending where Maureen's back with Taggart.
Right, everything
Billy's
works
got
out.
nothing going on.
Yeah, Billy could at least got a woman out of this or
Nope.
something.
We don't find out what's going on with the car. We will in the
No.
novelization synopsis, folks. I got some ideas.
Yeah, these people they got to come back to their house not finished still. Who's that black guy? Why wasn't this a cameo?
I know. Hey,
All right, and we end with
and the extended
James
cut
Ingram.
is Axel backs up and explains everything. Like, what the
Right,
fuck?
he just bullshits his way out of that too.
Parking valet, Chris Rock. Robert Pastorelli is credited.
Vinny strippers,
Orvis, Tom Teeny Lister Jr.
right? Yeah, the
Guarded
Playboy
Gate.
girls get their own credit, don't they?
I think we already missed it. Somebody had a
Yeah,
herself.
right. Yeah.
And so this would also sort of start this. I want to say by Tango and Cash, it was sort of done. Um, but sort of we have to have, we want to normalize having Playboy tie-ins, right? Like
Mm.
it seemed like it was like a 3 or 4 year period, and then basically they just made Baywatch instead.
Yeah,
Um,
Baywatch really took up a lot of that, especially once they later on when they started just casting nothing but playmates.
yeah, when it was like actually tied together. Um,
Like it was a real show up until
was it the first
like
or second season? Didn't Billy Warlock quit when it went to shit,
well,
or did he stick it out for a bit?
right, the first two seasons, well the first season, the NBC season
Yeah.
was the first one, and then season two was pared down to Hasselhoff, Billy Warlock, and Erica Leniak. It's season three where they bring in
Okay.
Pamela Anderson, who was kind of the start of the, and then they brought in, Yasmin Bleeth and what's her face, Nicole Eggert. That was around the time they were actually bringing in pretty actresses. And then sometime later, once you get to like the Carmen Electra seasons,
Yeah. That's where it's just the tie-in.
Tracy Bingham, that's all it is playmates. And I think Hamlet left at that point because they sort of replaced her with Donna D'Errico.
Who was also a Playmate of the Year. So yeah,
Right,
the whole thing was uh, the first season was like a real show, right?
right.
Like,
First
yeah.
first couple of seasons, they tried.
What did
You know,
Billy Warlock? What was he on before that?
I only remember him on Happy Days.
Okay,
He
because I
played
remember him
McGinley's
young.
brother.
Yeah, City of Detroit, Tandem Computers Incorporated. Oh, look at that! Wow. Oh, yes, you were
Playboy
correct.
Enterprise. Yep, see, they
Good
get their whole
God.
Rebecca Ferrati, Ola Ray.
They should totally have like the number for calling and ordering it.
Right.
Uh, it's the 80s,
Call now for
folks.
your subscription to Playboy.
Mm. 75th anniversary. We should have done some other
Wow.
75th anniversaries. What else could we have done? Was Crocodile Dundee 2 87?
No, the first one. No, first one was 86. Dundee 2 was 88,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
And I'm so shocked by that. I forgot that both of them came out in the 80s. I keep wanting to think that Crocodile Dundee 2 came out in like 90.
It was all over by then. Crocodile Dundee 2 was sort of, I mean, 89, the 80s is such a weird thing to try to like segment when you get down to it because some of it like
Well, remember
is in a year.
there was that Crocodile Dundee kind of sparked that fucking like that Australian thing for a while.
Hmm.
It was him, it was Yahoo Serious. They added an Australian girl to the Facts of Life. I mean, they really leaned into it.
Yeah. Because they were like,
Jocko, the Highwayman. They had everything. Ugh. So yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 2. It was a hit, but looking back, it's good. It's a good follow up, but it's nothing spectacular. You know.
so Beverly Hills Cop 2 made 300 million, had a $27 million opening weekend in 1987.
Hmm.
So that's big deal. The first one made 16 million more. Oh wow. At the Australia re-release of Beverly Hills Cop 2 in 2021, it made $77. So that's why you don't report your Fathom events, folks.
Oh man.
Well, and also Beverly Hills Cop 2, I mean, in theory, there should have been a third one in what, like 89 or 90. That sort of put it to bed in a way, but
Yeah, right. Because at this point, sequels like this weren't something that you don't right in the 80s. You expect maybe like one sequel,
mhm,
but thanks to stuff like stuff like Friday the 13th, the horror stuff got to be franchised, or like Police Academy was a fluke.
yeah. And Police Academy, like, I'm sure if you look at the numbers, it's just that they were cheap and very profitable.
Yeah, they were cheap, and also the
So
Police Academy franchise is the epitome of the law of diminishing returns.
right. So it's just like it's easy money. Whereas something like Beverly Hills Cop and these other big things, it's not going to be easy money. And that's what the problem is now is you spend $250 million on Ant-Man 3 or $275 million on Ant-Man 3. They're not seeing any money until it makes $900 million or whatever. And it's not going to because it's Ant-Man 3. Um, Also, that's not a franchise anybody was trained to expect to do what they asked it to do. It was supposed to be their sort of comedy
Yeah, right.
franchise, like family it was supposed to be their PG plus franchise, is what it was supposed to be. They're white, yeah, and I mean it's state. Well, I haven't seen the third one yet. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, if they just done a Beverly Hills Cop 3 to get it done right, like when Eddie had a problem in fucking, let's see,
Well, he
like
really
after
could have Harlem
After
Nights,
Harlem
right?
Nights bombed,
That's when
he
he
should
really
have
could have
just
recouped.
fucking done it because you would have been able to get what's his face back.
Hmm.
Uh Paul Reiser would have still been back. John Ashton, everybody would have been back for that. Well, no, the problem is that he did another 48 hours to try to do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was 90.
that was the rebound movie where he's like, well, let me go back to the well for this one.
Yeah, and really, he could have gone back to the well for Beverly Hills Cop, saved us the third one, and still delivered a legacy sequel someday.
Hmm.
Instead, it got to be like this. Will they ever make a Beverly Hills Cop 3? Da 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 da. And it got all this build up, and it never, I don't think, was there ever like a good idea behind it, or was it always just a
Well, when it comes to Beverly Hills Cop, it's mostly Eddie is as Axel, and then will follow you anywhere what you do. That was the weird thing about Beverly Hills Cop is people just begged for one because they wanted to see him as Axel. It didn't matter what the plot was or anything, which is why part three is so fucking lazy. You know, Uh, um, three is what sort of threw him into going into family type movies and shit. I want to say because after three, he hit with Nutty Professor, right? In
Yeah,
'96. So Nutty Professor was the big comeback. Forget when Life came out,
that was
but Life,
99, I think.
okay, Life was kind of like Life wasn't a big hit. It was just kind of middle ground.
Okay, so the original idea for three is about Foley, Rosewood, and Taggart going to London to rescue Bogomil, who is being held hostage during the International Police Convention. So that will be one of our spin-off books, just so you know. And then there was a Beverly Hills Cop 3 one included a Robert Town idea in which Axel has to deal with his celebrity cop status, which so apparently that would be a thing. Eddie Murphy with Sean Connery, Eddie Murphy with John Cleese,
All right.
who would be captured. One that would, oh, Jeffrey would be killed off, and that was scrapped. That was the initial one, and it was scrapped because it was too close to Black Rain, the piece of shit Michael Douglas movie. And then yes, so Eddie wants to be taken seriously as a uh, action star for the next one. Okay, so that will be next week. I don't know the last time I saw it, probably in the mid 90s. I love how everybody says that Ronnie Cox was busy with other projects, but they never say what they were. Like,
Yeah, because I
that's
can't even recall.
because in the trivia here it says, um, even though he was busy, he still wanted to be in it. Then he asked for the script, and then he said he didn't want to be in it after he read it. So it's just like, okay.
Yeah, that three is just a. I
So they paid Eddie 15 million to do this in 93 or
mm,
90. What year was it? 94.
it
That's a
came out in
lot.
'94.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
he
Okay.
was still he could still command that type of yeah,
Yeah.
and that was the beginning of his sort of flop era.
Yeah.
Because somewhere in there was what Pluto Nash, right?
Pluto Nash, I think, wasn't Pluto Nash actually after the
Yeah, I think that was
first Nutty
after.
Professor? No,
It
Pluto
might have.
Nash was 2002.
Oh wow,
2002.
because the comeback era was Nutty Professor, Doctor Doolittle,
Yep. Then Shrek would all hit.
and
Yeah.
Shrek. Yeah,
Fucking Life isn't even on his selected
see,
filmography.
like it's a
Um,
good movie. It's just you know,
yeah, so we do the Shreks, and then what is Candy Cane Lane?
it's the Christmas movie.
Okay.
That was recent. Oh God.
Okay. So yes, and Norbit, wasn't that a spin-off from
Nah, it was
no?
just now it's just him doing, you know, eh, honestly, Norbit is just kind of its own thing, and he caught hell from it because, you know, oh, it's so stereotypical and blah 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 and all this shit. You know, it's fucking funny, especially when you know, smoke before you. That's all I'm gonna say about Norbit because it is, it works, especially when Marlon Wayans is in it. Marlon Wayans is in it. Cat Williams, Eddie Griffin. I mean, it's a funny ass movie. It's just not one of Eddie's, bigger type. Like I had a ball the last time I watched it. It was hilarious.
But we won't be having a ball next week, folks. We'll be watching Beverly
Ah,
Hills Cop 3.
we're gonna endure Beverly Hills Cop 3. Yeah.
Wonder why Teresa Randall couldn't have made it.
Oh, well, she ended up in Bad Boys, but
Did she
Yeah,
stay in Bad Boys?
not the most recent one. No, she's the wife in 1, 2, and 3, I believe. But the most recent one, she got recast with Tasha Smith.
Oh, she got recast. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We can save going down the rabbit holes on that for next time. Spawn. Jesus, Spawn. Okay. Yes, we shall return with Beverly Hills Cop 3 starring Hector Alonso as
Flint,
Taggart Flint.
the Taggart replacement. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Is it Flint or Flynn? I keep
Flint.
forgetting.
It's
Okay, it is
Flint.
Flint. Is
Oh
his first name
yes.
like John too?
John Flint.
John Flint.
Cool. And no, because it's 94, we've got no Paul Reiser. Okay.
Yeah, no Paul Reiser.
But hey, everybody, George Lucas is in it, so that's what we've got going for us.
And a host of cameos.
Oh yeah,
So
that'll
it's
keep us
definitely
going.
it's a John Landis film, you know.
Yes. God, he's got a bunch in here. Okay. Yep. That's it. See you then. Because who doesn't want to watch Beverly Hills Cop 3? Oh God, they don't even have okay.
Till then, the balcony's locked up. Good night, folks.
Later in Beverly Hills, a new kind of heist, a game with thrills. Each crime scene marked, a letter to find. The alphabet crimes, a mastermind. But the chief's a fool, a voice of rage. Bogomil suspended upon on a stage. Alphabet crime, the letters unfold in a city of lights where secrets are told. A game of shadows, a deadly rhyme, hunting the truth in the alphabet crime. Axel Foley's back, Detroit's finest son, to solve the mystery and get the job done. A gun club crew, a trail that's thin, but Axel's too sharp to let them win. A bullet missed, but not the mark. Kane's Club, Densfield are in the dark. Alphabet crime, the letters unfold in a city of lights where secrets are told. A game of shadows, a deadly rhyme, hunting the truth in the alphabet crime. Of riches to the raceway track, a tale of greed and no turning back. Red mud clues, a twist in time to the oil fields in the dead of night. Explosions light up the midnight air. Axel still standing, he's got no fear. A crash, a fight, the end is near. Dent goes down, the smoke is clear. Collars fall, a shot well aimed. Justice served in the alphabet game. Alphabet crime, the letters unfold in the city of lights where secrets are told. A game of shadows, a deadly rhyme, hunting the truth in the alphabet crime. Bogomil's back to take the lead. The mayor's in awe of their heroic deed. Axel returns, but the story's not done. The alphabet crime, a victory won.